Hello everyone, I'm Ify, and in this video I'm going to share with you another haul of amazing cheap fragrances. This time is going to be by the brand Armaf, and if you have seen my previous videos, you will notice that some of these fragrances I've already reviewed separately, and I don't want you to think that I'm somehow sponsored by the brand or the company that produces these perfumes. I've started buying myself Armaf perfumes since 2 years ago, and my collection has grown because they are so good, and I thought, why not make a video and share it with these nice people and let them know that they can have amazing quality perfumes without spending too much money on them. Now, this haul consists of both fragrances for women and men. Some of them are clones, some of them are individual fragrances, and I spent a couple of times the other days testing the clones side by side with their original versions and trying to figure out how close they are in terms of similarity and performance. And I was very amazed because some of them, not only they are very similar to their original versions, but they are even better. At least that was my opinion. Now let's start, and I'm going to start with the fragrances that are for the women because I have only 2 of them and I don't want to make the ladies wait or scroll through the video to find the part where I'm going to talk about the ladies' fragrances. So let's be fair to them and start with the ladies' fragrances. So the first fragrance that I'm going to show to you today is Club de Nuit Woman. Now this perfume is gorgeous, and I'm saying that because it smells very similar to a gorgeous fragrance, a more popular one that is called Chanel Mademoiselle. And I'm going to say that this one is about 95% similar to Chanel Mademoiselle. And me and my girl like this one more than the original. This one is more creamier and softer, but it does project and it does perform the same as the original version. I've tested the fragrances on both skin and paper, and this one performed the same as the original. We got 8 hours on skin and on paper. Now the next fragrance, even though this one, when you will search for it online, you will find it as for women. On the bottle you will only see Club de Nuit Intense. Now, maybe you have seen this fragrance, maybe you have heard of it. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. The original one is a unisex fragrance, and this one is about 95% similar to the original one. And yeah, this is also a unisex fragrance. The difference is, this one starts with a more prominent note of rose, which is going to fade off, and after that you will barely tell the difference between the two. I'm very serious. Also, the performance is the same as the original one. It lasts easily 8 hours. It projects easily for 3 hours, and the intense label on the bottle really matches the intensity of the perfume. Even though it's EDT, it lasts a lot and it really performs. Very nice fragrance. This leans more towards women, but if you're that guy, if you're that mysterious guy, you can easily wear this one also. Now we have finished with the ladies' fragrances, and I'm going to start off with what I think is the closest clone produced by Armaf. It's called Armaf Craze. This one is a clone of Perfumes de Marly Pegasus, and I'm going to say that they are about 99% similar. Projection, performance, everything. The only difference is the bottle. Now this one is EDP, and it's probably the strongest Armaf perfumes that I've put my nose on. This perfume lasted on my skin for 24 hours. Unfortunately, the cap is terrible. Pieces are starting to fall off from the cap, but besides that, the juice inside the bottle is easily niche quality. Very affordable fragrance, guys. What you will find here is of an amazing quality. Next fragrance I have reviewed separately, and I'm going to leave in the description the link for each fragrance from Armaf that I reviewed separately. This one is Armaf El Cielo. A very sexy fragrance. Unfortunately, when I did my top 6 sexy fragrances for men by Armaf, it didn't make it. Now I am very positive that not only it will make it to the top 6, it will make it into a top 4 sexy fragrances by Armaf. As I said in my separate review, this one is not a clone, but more of a mixture of good fragrances like Hugo Boss The Scent, like Paco Rabanne's Invictus. All the good stuff from the more popular fragrances have been taken and put into this bottle. A very gorgeous fragrance that lasts on the skin easily 8 hours and projects from 2 to 3 hours. Armaf El Cielo EDP, very nice fragrance. It's very hot in here and I'm all hyped up and excited. Very amazing fragrances, guys. Go ahead and buy each and one of them, or at least one that will make you decide either you will continue buying them or stop to that just one fragrance. Next one, another Club de Nuit. This one is Club de Nuit Men. You can see that I've consumed a lot of this because it's my favorite Armaf perfume. Is it a clone? No, I don't think it's a clone. Many say that it's a clone of 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. Yeah, it's similar, but I think it's a more refined version. I think it's a more creamy version, a smoother version of 1 Million, more mature, not that into your face, but strong enough to project and last. Overall, this one works very well, all seasons, day and night, dressed for any occasion. This is my to-go fragrance. Gets compliments, again, very affordable. Next fragrance, and probably this one has the most projection out of all Armaf fragrances, and this one is called Armaf de la Marque Brune, or de la Marque Brune. I don't know exactly how this one is pronounced, but I can tell you that this one is a clone of Chanel Allure Sport Extreme. I would say that they're about 85% similar. They are similar in the beginning, very similar, but in the dry down, the Chanel one stays more fresh, while this one becomes sweet and powdery. Now, even though this one is EDT, it projects like crazy. It projects enormously. It projects for about 5 or 6 hours. It does last the same as the Chanel one, but I think it projects better. Now with both of them, I've got a longevity of about 10 hours. This one has a gorgeous bottle, better than the Chanel one, in my opinion. A must-buy fragrance. If you own Armaf fragrances and you still don't own this one, you have to buy it. It's very good. I recommend it to you, especially if you like Chanel Allure Sport Extreme. The next one is another Club de Nuit, and it's the last one from the line. This is probably the most popular Armaf fragrance in the community of fragrance lovers. This is called Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Men. Now this one is a clone of one of the most gorgeous fragrances ever created by a niche house called Creed, and the perfume is called Aventus. Is this one similar to Aventus? Of course, but in the beginning I don't think they are that similar. In the dry down though, you will barely be able to tell the difference. I would say in the first 2 hours, this one is about 80% similar to Aventus, and that's because this one has a more harsh opening and you don't feel the pineapple as you will feel it in the Aventus. You will feel a more stronger bergamot in the Club de Nuit Intense Men, and after those 2 hours, this will be exactly like Aventus. Now in terms of performance, even though this one is EDT, again, the word intense stands up for what's inside the bottle. I've got more longevity with this one that I've got with Aventus. I'm really serious. I've got well past 18 hours with this fragrance on my hand, right here, while Aventus died at about 16 hours. And its projection is really weird because you will get a lot of good projection in the first 2 hours, and then when you think it's gone, it will start projecting again. Well past 8-10 hours, you will still get projection from this fragrance. And if you don't think it's there anymore, don't worry, the people around you will tell you that it's there. They are going to feel it. I'm really serious. Even though you're not a fan of Creed's Aventus, and if you didn't hear about it, this is a fragrance for a man that has his own business, has his own reputation. He likes to take care of things on his own, very good with the girls, and definitely has the respect of the man around him. You got to buy this fragrance, guys. The next one is another clone of Chanel. This one is Tag Him. This one is a clone of Bleu de Chanel EDT, not EDP, because there is a slight difference between the two. Now, are they similar? Yeah, they are. I would say they're about 85% similar, because this one is very harsh in the opening. I wouldn't recommend you smell it immediately after you sprayed it like this. Don't do that because you will get a very synthetic smell. You will feel it through your neck, it will get you into your stomach and make you sick. Let it dry down and it will become, like I said, 85% similar to Bleu de Chanel. Now, in terms of performance, this one also performs at least the same as Bleu de Chanel. It seems like Armaf, not only have they cloned the smell, but they have cloned the performance. Let's move on to the next fragrance. The next one is the best summer fragrance 2017 on my list. It's Armaf Derby Clubhouse Blanche, another clone of a niche fragrance, and it's a clone of Creed's Silver Mountain Water. Are they similar? Oh, hell yeah, they are 99% similar. This is like as similar as Craze was to Perfumes de Marly Pegasus. From the start to the finish, you won't be able to tell the difference between the two. Again, they clone the performance very good. You get at least 8 hours with this one. You get at least 2 to 3 hours projection. You get compliments. It's a very good fragrance, guys. Now I'm going to present to you two Armaf fragrances at the same time because they are very similar. On my left hand I have Armaf Edition One, and on my right hand I have Armaf Derby Clubhouse Gold. This one is a clone of Mont Blanc's Legend, and this one is supposed to be a clone of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Now, if you have tested both fragrances and if you think they are similar, please leave a comment below because I haven't got my nose on the original version yet and I'm really curious if they are similar. But these two, between them, they are indeed similar. As I've seen online that Mont Blanc Legend is similar to Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. This one is a warm spicy fragrance. This one is a fresh spicy fragrance, and they are both for teenagers. This one is for the teenagers that like to smell good, and this one is for the teenagers that not only like to smell good but also like to smell a bit sexy. Yes, this one is sexier than this one because it has a bit more masculinity added to the smell. That fresh spicy smell is more appealing. In my opinion, I think this one is better than this one, so it's not worth buying both of them. Just go for Armaf Edition One. Now, in terms of performance, you get about 6 hours with both of them, while this one lasts maybe a couple of minutes more. This one projects a lot better. Projection on this one is about 1 hour. This one has easily 3 to 4 hours. Again, this one, a clone of Mont Blanc's Legend, about 90% similar. This one, a clone of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. And yes, please confirm by commenting below how similar do you think this is to Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Let's move on to the next Armaf fragrance. Next one we have Armaf Vitesse Carbon with the modern looking bottle. Now this one I've also reviewed separately, well, not actually separately, I reviewed it with Armaf Vitesse, which I'm going to show you afterwards. This is not a clone, as I said in the review, this is a mixture of clones. It's a combo of Green Irish Tweed and Dior Homme Intense. And as good as that sounds, the perfume you will find in this bottle is not that great. I rather use those perfumes individually than in this combination. But the performance and projection are very good. It's a EDP and you will get at least 10 hours of longevity with at least 3 hours of projection. Is it worth buying? Yeah, maybe. Again, I think it's more towards teenagers, and if you like perfumes that have a bit of powdery smell, then you have to try this one, especially if you like those two fragrances that they were trying to clone. Now we have Armaf Vitesse, and in my review I said that this one is a clone of Givenchy Gentleman Only, the regular version. I would say they're about 92% similar. They've also cloned, unfortunately, like I said, Armaf also clones the performance. Givenchy Gentleman Only lasts only about 6 hours, so this one again lasts about 6 hours, even though it's labeled as EDP. Projection, you get about 1 hour. This perfume, this Armaf perfume, didn't really impress me, but it's quite different than the others, so yeah, I will keep it in my collection, but again, not my favorite. The next perfume, also reviewed separately, left a link in the description, Armaf Italiano Uomo. Now this one, when it first appeared, people were saying that this is a clone of Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. Maybe it was in the beginning, I've heard reformulations have happened. Now it has nothing to do with Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. Instead, people are saying that this is a clone of Azzaro Chrome Legend. I don't remember exactly how that one smells because I've smelled it a year ago or so. They are a bit similar as far as I remember, but I would like to put this fragrance as a standalone one. If you have a different opinion, please leave a comment below and confirm that this one is a clone of Azzaro Chrome Legend. For me, this is a soapy smell, a fragrance that smells like a very expensive soap. It has a very good performance. It projects for about 4 hours, I'm not joking, and it lasts easily 9 hours. For a soapy smell, that's a lot. This also I consider to be one of the best Armaf fragrances. This would make it to top 6, definitely. I received many compliments from both men and women. If you want to receive compliments with this fragrance, don't make people around you smell it while you just sprayed it. Wait for a couple of hours, 1 or 2, and then go outside, have people smell you, and you will receive a lot of compliments. Now my last Armaf fragrance. This one is probably more suited towards older people, but for some reason this one works very well on me. Armaf Shades Wood. A very nice fragrance. It has the oriental smell, the oud that you will find in oriental perfumes. It even has an oriental design. This one is supposed to be a clone of Kilian Rose Oud, another niche fragrance by a niche house. Again, I will please ask you to leave a comment below if you think these two are similar. I haven't put my nose on that one either, so yeah, go ahead and confirm. It's very different from what you've seen in Armaf fragrances. As I've said, more towards oriental fragrances. You have a lot of rose and wood in here, and not only oud but woods. So a very masculine fragrance, very good fragrance. I keep it for the winter and it does work for me. Again, I do receive compliments. So this one was Armaf Shades Wood, and it was the last from the Armaf line that I own to date. I sweated like a pig presenting these fragrances. I was very excited. I hope you were excited to see this video, and I do hope that you will try at least one Armaf fragrance before you do take a decision if Armaf is worthy of buying or not. And I hope that I did help you at least figure out which Armaf fragrance do you want to buy. Until my next video, guys, you have to do that thing with the sprays, with the perfumes. You have to spray yourself. Keep smelling good, guys. See you next time.